me tell you a little story.
देखिए आपके
It's 9:31. It's story time.
गौरव आपके दो
It's 9:31. It's story time. It's 9:31. It's story time now. Story time with me. Gaurav, I'll tell you a story. There was once this fellow. He was good for nothing. He could achieve nothing here, pass no exam. He was sent off packing to America, sent off to some Ivy League university where he was shown to be incapable of any intellectual work. From there, he was sent off to some godforsaken college nobody knows about in Florida, from where he did some godforsaken course. Then this individual did something which nobody knows for about 10 to 15 years abroad. And 10 to 15 years abroad, nobody knows what he did. Nobody knows what he did. And then nobody knows what he did. And then he comes back. And then he comes back, and then he comes back to India, and then he comes back to India. See, it's hurting you. I know it's hurting. Have I named any individual? Have I told you who this godforsaken individual is?
No,
have I told you who this dodo is?
I have also not
told you I haven't.
So I have also not named any individual. I have also not named any individual.
I have just said that there is such an individual.
I am talking also about an individual who
then you keep quiet. Keep quiet. Defending an anonymous individual. I am saying that so happens.
So why are you talking about an anonymous individual?
The story goes that this individual then starts some company called behind the operations or backward operations or something like that. And the basic idea of this backward operations or behind operations or front operations is to do backward dealing. And this person has a vested interest in pushing this company and that company.
And the individual I am talking about flies in the corporate jets of a particular client.
Have I mentioned any? Do you know any specifically intellectually challenged individual?
I just want.
Why are you getting touchy?
Do you?
If the viewer understood, did I name someone? I am saying that I am of a view. I am of a view. I am of a view. Yeah, you be quiet. I am of a view. I am of a view that the only interest of the Congress party, at least I can say somewhat with full confidence, was doing big business deals, making India 80% dependent on imports because 25 to 30% would come to them. मैंने गलत क्या बोला है? नहीं तो was it not possible to develop an Akash missile?
नाम क्यों नहीं लिया?
Was it not possible to buy the 120?
I'll like to bring up few facts, Arnab. Firstly, I would request everybody, I would want to come in here. Now, I just want to tell everybody that I am a new generation veteran. I am a new generation veteran here. And I am really perturbed by the mindset and the attitude of Mr. Vivek and the panelists. Trust me for a second, I thought that you invited some Pakistani panelist on the panel. But later on when I heard his name, Mr. Vivek, I was like, nahi, I think he is Indian. So I was right now taken aback. Now, just to put in a few facts, please don't take my comments personally, but this is actually what I suddenly felt.
No,
absolutely.
Now,
Mr. Vivek, now I just want to make few facts very clear to you that in 2012 it was Congress. It was Congress which stalled the anti-satellite missile launch system. That is the problem.
You wanted to favor China. After that, there were multiple skirmishes which were taking place with China
good relations with all neighbors. That's a different issue.
But Congress turned a blind eye. Congress laid it down by telling the army.
Sir, domestic defense industry, Indian government holds only 50% stake.
But you never took the pain to equip India and the Indian army with effective weapons.
No, Indian domestic industry Indian government holds only 50% stake. Are we not ashamed of it?
One more thing.
50% you have given it to private dalals.
As far as, see, please recall the before corruption.
Two defense
It was Congress which initiated it. It was your former Prime Minister.
There are 108 memorandums.
Corruption began with you in the defense sector.
You call this development.
And today you are talking about joining hands with China.
Privatization.
Shame on you.
In defense.
You should not be breathing a single moment of air on India.
108 memorandums
of
understandings with private companies in two defense corridors.
With China.
Arnab, you
No,
please
no, you
ask
can be an
Vivek
agent of
Srivastava to
government and you
introduce
can
himself
go
as a
on to
China
do
sympathizer.
with
He's
private
not a
companies.
political analyst.
Okay,
Vivek
that is how you
Srivastava is
decide.
a
Mr.
rabid
Vivek, it has
Chinese
been
sympathizer.
make
You can
to
say
make
whatever
India
you want.
Atmanirbhar.
I
You
don't
yourself went to
like
Saab for
108
force.
MOUs
You
of
yourself
private
went
companies
to the
in
Bell
two defense
Corporation
corridors of this country. I
where
don't like
you
it.
were corrupt.
It's wrong.
You took money for the helicopter deal.
Domestic
So your
defense
own
industry,
party is
government of
corrupt.
India
You
has only
delayed the
50%
anti-satellite
stake. I don't
launch
like it.
system.
It should
And
be
one more
100%.
thing. I
or
have served in
90%.
the army from 2010
My
to
new generation
2021.
veteran,
In
you should also become
2014,
an
the
agent
Indian
of the
Army
arms
got
dealers,
MP9,
the international
Swiss
arms
snake
dealers.
weapon,
Go over
SMG.
there,
Then it was
hobnob,
during
and
BJP's
make
tenure
deals on behalf of
that
the
we
government
got
of
the
India. I don't
6-4,
care.
7.62
But I don't like
mm.
this.
It was during BJP's tenure where we got K9 Vajra.
We
And
don't
it was during
even
BJP's
have
tenure where
a
we got
fifth
upgraded
generation
Tejas,
aircraft in this
where
country.
we got the Rafale.
You still don't
there were
have a
pilots
fifth generation
who were
aircraft in this
dying
country.
for
Do you
no
know this?
reason with the MiG-21
Rafale is at
crashes.
best a fourth
But
generation
you
aircraft. Are you
were
aware
so
of it?
corrupt. You never
What MiG-21?
gave it a
MiG-21,
single
MiG-21.
thought for
937.
upgradation of the
Yeah,
Air Force
Rafale,
or the
937, I wish to share
And the
something.
world is
One
fifth
minute.
generation. Are you aware of it?
I'd like to bring in Kapil and
Mr.
Sanju.
Vivek,
1 minute.
very
Kapil
poor
and
show.
Sanju right now.
You have not come up with
Kapil
your
and
homework.
Sanju right now. Kapil story time number 2, 9:37
No, you
p.m.
can go ahead and become an agent of the arms dealers.
I'm not talking to
And
you.
sell the nation and
I'm not
contribute to the
talking to
selling
you.
of it.
I'm talking to Kapil Madan. Producers, please help me. Kapil, in May,
No, I'm
Mr. Vivek, you're sounding like a
in May
Pakistani.
2013.
Please be Indian.
In May 2013, can we bring him? I can't see. Yeah. In May 2013, after the major intrusion of the Chinese soldiers in eastern Ladakh, in Depsang to be precise, Foreign Minister Salman Khurshid went to China. And first of all, he should not have gone. He went. And when he was asked, what did you go to talk about? He said, I have expanded the relationship between the two countries. And then he was said, Kapil, which area of expansion? What are you going to do about Depsang? He said, Depsang is not important because I have just signed an agreement on wastewater management with the Chinese. He says, what else did you discuss with the Chinese? They said, besides wastewater management, I have also looked at ways in the joint statement on how India and China may cooperate on micro-irrigation. And then he wrapped it up by saying that Beijing is the best city in the world to live in and that he would love to live in Beijing. Now, you can take this statement as a joke or you can take it as a reality. The fact is that he was too afraid to question China over its incursion in Ladakh. You talk about incursions, there was a 19-kilometer incursion at that point of time, and you said at that point of time, we don't want to do any post-mortem, we don't want to apportion blame. We just went to listen to
Can I respond to you?
Now,
Yeah.
you want to
Let me
respond?
just
Okay,
quickly
otherwise
respond
I
to
would
you.
have carried on.
Yeah,
And I
let
just
me
want to wrap up by
just
saying,
quickly-
I want to wrap up by saying, he also said that we are trying to make the Chinese happy. And he was told, how will you make the Chinese happy? He said, the Chinese should come to India, roam around, and handpick any location in India to build a Chinese-centric, exclusive industrial park on Indian soil. So he went there to offer daffodils to the Chinese in return for Depsang.